What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome into a live stream Mariners post-game show. Have not done this in a while, but I've got my friend Rooftop Sports joining me today. If you're new here, if you're new to my channel, hit that sub button. If you're not new here, or if you are new here, hit the like button. Boy, haven't done these lives in a while. I got to work on my intro a little bit. And don't
I blame the Mariners for this.
It is the Mariners' fault. Also, head over to Rooftop's channel and hit subscribe on his channel. Link will be in the description after the video is uploaded. So check it out. Just a brutal game for the Mariners. 13 people in here. I am live, Andrew. Hey everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Appreciate it. Yes, this team is bad. Let's dive into it. Rooftop. Take it away. I can't even talk about this team.
It's not even frustrating anymore. It's actually just getting more hilarious, and my body's actually getting immune to it at this point. Like I just know what to expect. And at this point, I'm just doing these shows covering the Mariners just for the sake of the fans, just so that they don't have to go through Root Sports to hear the sugarcoating. They don't have to go through Seattle Sports Radio or whatever. But they get to hear us talk about it, and they'll get to see our emotions, like people who really do care, like you and me and everyone else. Marine Layer Podcast, Mariners Mojo, Jake of Raise the Trident. You get to hear it all. And that's why we're still doing this, and we're doing it for you. Yes, maybe money, but I think of you guys more than the money.
And thank you, everybody, for joining. We already got 41 people in here. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. This will double as our therapy session. If you want the comment read, Super Chat's the best way for me to see it. Obviously, if not, I'll try to get to some of the comments. But they're flying in. Love you guys. I love all of you guys. I already see the nice comments coming in. I cannot thank you guys enough, truly, from the bottom of my heart. You guys have made even one of the most frustrating Mariner seasons for me still fun, still finding joy in it. I see people needing the therapy session. That's what we're here for. Mariners lose this one 6-3. They jump out to a 3-0 lead early. It looked like we might get the W today. Low-key, Walker Buehler was awful. Only struck out 1 in 4 innings, which is some kind of like record in the opposite way against the 2024 Mariners, I think. And the Mariners jump out early. And then Bryce Miller, not super sharp, not, I guess, awful, but only gets through 4 innings. Really the pitch count that piled up on him, gives up the home run to Lux and to Max Muncy, and then only got through the 4 innings. Colin Snyder was fantastic, getting through the 5th and most of the 6th. Saucedo did a nice job getting Max Muncy out in the 6th. Then Sauce is left in for the 7th, which was questionable. I thought going to Munoz was actually okay. I'll get Rooftop your take on this in just a second here. I thought going to Munoz was fine in that situation. On my post game, I've said several times, go to Munoz earlier. Don't let your best reliever sit in the bullpen and not use them. Now, it didn't work out, and Munoz hasn't been that sharp lately either. I mean, nothing's going right for the Mariners. And again, I'm kind of done even piling on Scott Service, to be honest. Like there's just no button the guy is hitting that is working. I mean, he could go get prime Randy Johnson in there and just nobody. It's just not working. It's time for changes. Rooftop, what do you think of this game?
Well, the first mistake that I saw, and usually I complain to the freaking moon, and some of my viewers would know that as well, that Scott Service did pull Bryce Miller after 90-something pitches, and it was barely going in the 5th inning. I was okay with that. I was like, it was fine. Dodgers were getting to him, and it seemed like it was only going to be a matter of time until they actually do. And even if they did leave Bryce Miller one more inning, maybe disaster would have struck. But I did like that decision that they put in. I believe it was Colin Snyder. He pitched absolutely the lights out. The first inning, lights out. With the exception of Teoscar Hernandez nearly hitting a home run, bailed out by CB Bucknor, who seemed to be helping the Mariners. And it seems like he was trying to make up for Lou Piniella from 2002. Anyways, then the next inning, I was like, oh, Snyder's pitching again? Great. This is exactly what I wanted. He got the first 2 outs, and then the first mistake I saw, he put in Taylor Saucedo because he had to play the matchup game. He just had to do that. And then Saucedo was noticeably struggling. He really was. And I think that was at the point where they brought in Andres Munoz, and I believe he barely got out of that inning.
Yeah,
I don't even remember anymore because I'm just really just lost at this point. Or was it that Saucedo led up to the tie? Is that what it was?
Saucedo gave up a double, then got a pop out. Munoz got Ohtani to line out. Then Betts hit the double. Munoz was not sharp. No way around.
Yeah,
and then he ends up giving up the 3-run home run to Hayward in the 8th.
Yeah, that's what it was. So that's why I did not like Saucedo pitching, because it was like I just didn't find it necessary. And the shocking part was when they actually left Saucedo again when he was already showing clear signs of struggle. And I think that would have been a great opportunity. This is a little bit outside the box, but I would have thought of putting in JT Chargois, because he has not pitched since the second game against the Pirates. And it's like, why did the Mariners trade some of their assets away just to get JT Chargois? Now they're not even using him. So I know you like the Munoz decision. Like maybe any other day I would have, if it was like the 8th inning, fine. But the 7th inning, I found that a little bit bizarre. And I think they could have used someone like, again, JT Chargois, and then the next thing you know, Munoz just completely blows it, unfortunately. And I did not like that decision to use him for the next inning, because he just looked completely lost. Like, you saw pitches where you would think that sometimes when they pitch the ball, they're doing it strategically, but this was like near wild pitches where Cal Raleigh had to like extend his arm. And the next thing you know, a 3-run home run. And the worst part of this was Mariners were handling the big four: Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez. They were handling him well. They only got I think it was 2 hits only that they got out of. I'm checking the stats right now. Okay, well, Shohei Ohtani got 4 hits, but at least until that time, Mariners were handling them well. And then we can't even beat these little scrubs. We can't beat Gavin Lux, who now owns 20% of his home runs against the Mariners. Max Muncy, who just came back from injury or whatever it was. And then Jason Hayward Bay? Like, what? Like, when I saw that home run, I was like, wait, what just happened? So a lot of pitching decision mistakes. And I know that we're at that point where it's like we're an apathetic feeling. But the thing is, Astros lost. This was the opportunity for the Mariners to salvage it. And then they blow it.
Yeah, and my thing, it wasn't so much like, oh yeah, I love the Munoz decision. I get it. You got the heart of the order coming up. And I've sat on my channel and said, like, and anybody, in the comments, you guys can back that up. I've said, like, they haven't gone to Munoz. They go to other relievers blow it. I think I said it to you in the live stream. I'd rather lose the game with Munoz. I can stomach losing it with him on the mound. I thought maybe they left Sauce in too long. I would have maybe started Chargois in the inning. I think that would have been an option. Thank you guys. I see everybody's comments. Truly do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Means a lot. Really does mean a lot. Thank you all.
It really does. He means it.
I do. No, Rooftop can attest to that. I know he means it too. So it was just, I get going down with your best reliever, but it felt like that, right? It felt like the ship was sinking, and it's just like, here's our best, I don't know how to equate it, but almost like, but you just could feel it. You can just feel it's off. It just continued. And then, we didn't even talk about Luis Rivas. What the heck is he doing in the 9th inning?
What was he doing? That running home? I was like, I love the effort. Don't get me wrong. And I'm pretty sure Manny Acta was like, he didn't even want him to do that. And Rivas was like, no, I got to do this for the team. I got to get them fired up for a rally. But it was like, no, it was just stupid. And I've done that before in softball. It's the most embarrassing thing you would ever do. I did that in the tournament. Luckily, we were already losing badly, even worse than that. But even then, it was like, no. Stay at third, stay in your lane, and see what Dom Canzone can do, even though I don't think he can.
No.
But at least, don't diminish any kind of confidence by doing those kind of dumb mistakes.
Yeah, it probably, listen, I want to be clear. I don't think they would have tied that game. But like someone said in the comments, you can't steal 3 runs. If it was 4-3, I might have been okay with that. Like, try to sneak it in there. I don't have any faith that they're going to score the run any other way. I get it. But down 6-3, it just makes 0 sense to try and
my question is, what was dumber? Was it the Leo Rivas trying to go way above his lane, or was it the Eric Burns who last minute pulled back his bat on that bunt that almost scored Ichiro? in
Probably
2010.
Burns, because that would have actually like won the game. I don't think the result would have changed here. I will say, like, and I don't want to pile on Leo Rivas. He's actually one of the few people getting some hits. He had a nice double off Hudson. He had a base hit earlier in the game. I really don't want to pile on. I'm not saying that to you or anything, but just myself. Like, he's not the guy I want to pile on too much here.
Yeah, he's the least of the problems.
Everything just a microcosm. Just Dylan Moore almost getting picked off. I actually think he was out. It was just the fact that it was called safe led that to stay. And then thrown out, stealing second. I mean, just everything with this team is just oh gosh. I mean, they just can't even. I mean, I know we joke can't buy a win. It's an old slogan, but my gosh, can this team not buy a win?
They really can't. And it just seems that the team just feels so out of it. Like, I just see the body language. Like, even when they scored the 2 runs, it just seems it's just stopped. And then after that, it's like, you just don't see, where's the fight? Like, I just don't see it. Like, it just feels that they just mentally just are just out of it now. It just feels that way.
It does. By the way, 91 people in here. If you guys can do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, keep commenting. I really do. Get it out. You guys are fine. Get the therapy.
Let it all out of your systems.
There's a lot of comments. I can't get to all of them. I do apologize. Do you guys like the live streams? I'll try to do more of them for you guys if you guys like these better, so we can actually go back and forth.
And under Jay Trident's,
you guys prefer.
Under Jay Trident's permission, this is a filter-free zone. Say whatever you like,
yep.
As long as YouTube doesn't like block it out. But
so, as long within reason, nothing. Don't attack anybody. Nothing.
Don't spam me. Don't send me advices on how to make $1,000 while pooping in the toilet. Don't do that.
You know what? If you do have some tips on that, I will take it.
And use that right now.
Here's the thing, too. It's not the Dodgers series. This is not the series, right? We talked about that
a
little
of course
bit.
This
is not the one that I'm going to look back on. Called Jay Tried calls Astros comment looks truly. What are you talking about? Cal's saying the good day.
Oh, I think when Cal Raleigh was like, "Oh, it's nice to see the Astros lost," I'm like, Cal, no, don't do that. Do not taunt your enemy. Especially when they're proven to be good.
Yeah. But going back to, like, this is not the series to me that, like, that lost me. I don't expect, the Mariners were really good. The Dodgers are really good. You could easily have lost these 2 games. It's the Tigers. It's the Pirates. It's the Angels. Like, it's just
the Marlins, the Rays.
Oh, the Rays might be better now. Hey, I got a question for you, Rooftop. Is this team going to finish over 500?
I don't know. I just the vibe and everything is going on. And then going into September, like, if they are going to keep losing games like this and they're going to maybe put in the prospects, which I do want to see. Like, I at least want to see Cole Young up, but the way they're playing, they are certainly on pace to finish below 500. And if they do, I just want to see how bad it gets, just so I can say, wow, they turned that 10-game lead into a below 500 season. And the crazy thing about this, I don't think I expressed this to you, but the 2024 Mariners blew their 10-game lead faster than the 95 Angels. And back then, when the Angels did that, ironically helped the Mariners, that was considered unprecedented. Now what the Mariners did was pretty much impossible.
Yeah. Listen, and for the record, I don't think they'll finish under 500. I think there's enough games left that they will find a way to finish above 500. And I'm not using that as a defense of this team. Like, that's not good enough. I do think they won't. I think they'll win like 84, 85. And I do think they'll probably have one more run in them. Maybe not for the division. I think I'm kind of done with that. But I think that they'll have like a 6-3 run somewhere, where they'll win a couple series. I'm sure at some point they will win a series. That's going to come back to bite me saying that. But, going back to your comment about the 10-game lead, it's crazy. I mean, they had a 10-game lead in June, and we're in September, and I'm apathetic. I don't even really care that much. That's how quickly they blew this lead. Not only did they blow the lead, they then went the other way, and I'm like, literally going to be checked out when the Seahawks start. Like, that takes something to blow it that quickly. That's
you know what
skill.
the Mariners also did, which I think is skill, and Mariners mojo. I know I don't talk to them at all. Fine, whatever. But I do respect how passionate and how positive they are, which I don't even have that gift because I don't have patience like they do. I saw a video of theirs, and the way the Mariners been playing, it even broke them. Where Colton admitted, and I don't blame him, where he said, I'm just going to take this as I'm just going to enjoy baseball for the rest of the season. When you get Colton to do that, the Mariners did something wrong when they broke them.
Well, and people in here can attest. I've kind of said the same thing. Like yesterday, my post-game recap was pretty much just, hey, I thought Brian Wu was outstanding. He deserved better. And that's really, what I want the focus to be is just, well, I shouldn't say not from anybody, but for me, I'm really trying to look for like positives. I was hoping Bryce Miller would have like a 6-7 inning start, could really focus on that. Maybe someone maybe Julio goes deep. That would have been fun to talk about. So I really am. I'm kind of, they've burnt me out, right? Like it's even the Scott stuff. If they were one game out or one game up, I'd spend more time on it. But everybody knows my take. If they don't get in the playoffs or make a run, then and yes, mostly ice sports talk. I do want to eventually in the offseason do some roundtables with some Astros, A's, Angels, Rangers people. I do want to do more of that. I was going to do that last offseason. Had some things happen, unfortunately, so couldn't do it. But that is what the goal is essentially. So but yeah, it just continues. I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying?
I mean, we've lost our train of thought because of this game.
Yeah, I mean, if they were a game or two up, William, keep having that Jim B, my friend. But, then I'd probably be a little bit more. Well, and then I would honestly maybe get not going to Munoz because it's not like do or die. This kind of felt like you got to find a way to get it done. They took a shot. They went to their best reliever, whatever. But what else you got, Rooftop? Anything you wanted to go over? I know you had some rants you wanted to do, so the floor is yours.
I mean, we can attest to the fact that the offense was just absolutely putrid. Like we saw 0 for 4 from Julio. Rayleigh didn't do much. Justin Turner has gotten worse since he joined the Mariners. Arozarena continues his hitless streak since dating back to the freaking Tiger series. Mitch Haniger 0 for 4. Josh Rojas 0 for 4. And when your best players are Victor Robles and Leo Rivas, that really says a lot. Like I just can't even say and the fact that the Mariners only got 3 runs with the way their starter was pitching on the Dodgers end, that's an absolute miracle for them. The way he was pitching, the Mariners should have at least gotten 5 or 6 easily on that. But that just didn't happen. And now also the other frustrating thing is Houston lost this game. They could have picked up a game and that would have made a world of difference on people's moods. The vibes would have been better. And unfortunately, what you're going to... Yeah, they lost the Mariners. It's almost like these teams actually know when to lose. They lose.
They really do.
Because they know that the Mariners are going to lose. Now, I'm not saying that's statistically true. I know I have to do the research, but based on the emotion, that's how it's feeling. And then, of course, I mean, Scott Service, this is what he's going to say. So, Scott, how'd you feel about this game? Well, things didn't go our way. Oh, yeah, Leo Rivas. Yeah, I like the effort, but it just didn't go his way. It was just a little bit unlucky. But, hey, we'll turn it around. We'll win tomorrow. That's what he's going to say. That's frustrating, this.
Do want to add 106 people in here. Smash the like button. It really helps out. It gets the video out to more people. Keep commenting. And don't forget, if you're new here, to hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all the new subs. And head over to Rooftop's channel if it's linked there or with his link and hit subscribe.
Wherever it is, yeah.
Well. Polanco had 3 RBIs. That's definitely a positive. He's been a lot better. There's going to be some questions. Do you pick up his option for next season? Is that something that you would look at doing for 2025?
I don't think they're going to. I just don't think they're going to.
Well, we don't even know that he's going to be here.
Even though the front office may not even be gone. And before we get more into the front office, even though that's a subject I really just don't want to touch right now, I still don't. Now, if it's like 10 games back, then I'm on the board. And I don't blame you for saying it either.
No, yeah.
But I did get a question out of mostly Ice Sports Talk. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button to my channel, we lost, yes, but do you think Seattle will make enough ground? I mean, mathematically, they still can. It's 5 games back. It's not like Houston's going to be like this, but then Justin Verlander's back, so maybe it's too late. But if they can just minimize their mistakes, if Scott Service can please just make better, even just make one little better pitching decision. Like, I did like that he went with Colin Snyder for almost 2 innings. I thought that was great. That's what I wanted to see. It seemed like he finally learned his lesson, and then he went back to his old ways. So,
and it's, I'm honestly, to an extent, like, honestly, kind of, I slightly feel bad for Scott a little bit. I mean, listen, they don't make the playoffs, even regardless of what the front office does. I know Jerry and Scott are really close, but he's not going to be back. There's no way. You can't justify it. You can't have 2 seasons. Yeah, there'd be no juice behind it. There's no way he would not be fired. So I'm kind of at the point now where I see this team falling, and I'm kind of like, like, I do get it a little bit. Like, there have been sometimes he's pushed buttons that just have not worked. It's not all, and a lot of people know I say this, it's not all his fault. The players have got to be better. Even Munoz is, a good enough pitcher to get those guys out, to get them out in those situations. Jason Hayward is not a very good hitter. He should be getting him out. It's just frustrating. So it's all around performance. And I'm with you on the front office. I've kind of beaten it to death. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. You guys all know my take, and I'm losing my voice here, but
I don't blame you.
If they don't make a run here, and I don't think they will, I think it's just time for change, and see if you can get somebody in here that can, put this team over the top. Anything else you got on the game today? Anything else you want to talk about? And I'll get to some comments here.
I think we've pretty much covered everything we can. I'll summarize it really quick. First, the Mariners took a nice 3-0 lead, even though I think they could have gotten more. Bryce Miller was getting kicked around kind of quite a bit, including giving up the 2 home runs to a guy who stinks overall and a guy who just came back. And then the pitching bullpen decision mistakes was very critical. Mariners offense not capitalizing on anything. The bad mistakes. Munoz was definitely not Munoz today. Like, I was looking at the tweets by Softy, and he was even questioning. I mean, I think Softy and I pretty much speak the same language. He was questioning why Munoz came in, and probably questioned why he even pitched again. And then you got the Leo Rivas. Like, I think that perfectly explained the 2024 Mariners. And it's crazy to think that we were optimistic for the season, considering how terrible the offseason was, where they got rid of Suarez, Kelenic, Teoscar Hernandez, I guess. And I'm eating my words right now that I said getting rid of Teoscar Hernandez was okay, not giving that qualifying offer. But now I'm like, dang. And that's one of the few mistakes, or many mistakes I've made in this channel, that I'm willing to eat it to the ground. That, yep, I said Mitch Haniger replacing Teoscar Hernandez was a great idea, and now doesn't seem like a good thing anymore. And I think that's what I got. And hopefully for tomorrow, Mariners can at least win the final game of the series, even though it's very tough to see. But they'll need to win, especially because they would love to go back home to host the Giants. And the Giants aren't going to be easy, because Giants also give them a tough game as well. But we should go to the comments. I do agree.
Yeah. Shout out Josh Estes. Thank you, man, for pushing for the likes. Really, really appreciate it. And there was something you said that I wanted to respond to in there that I thought was a good point. Yeah. And listen, I liked some of what they did this offseason. Obviously, with this ownership, I always wish there was a little bit more, but I liked the Jorge Polanco edition. I thought Mitch Garver would stabilize the DH spot a little bit.
So
at the end of the day, though, me and you are not paid to make these decisions. We're not. We have jobs. I'm paid for something else that I do from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if I'm not getting the job done, I'm held accountable. I'm very blessed to be able to do this. And this is something that I can be wrong 1,000 times and no one can stop me from coming on here and making videos. I can have you people yelling at me, but I think, I've been along a lot. My fans, God, it sounds cringy saying that, but the people that support my channel and yours, they respect that. They know I'm not I'm not paid to make these decisions. Neither are you. So they are, and they're not making them correctly. And listen, I'll be fair. If they bring back Jerry, Justin, Scott, I'll give them the chance. I'll still evaluate the moves this offseason. I won't be biased and go, it doesn't matter because these guys stink. I'll still try to evaluate the moves, but it certainly won't be very encouraging to me. So let me get to some of the comments here. Start with this one. If you guys 100% want it read, leave the super chat. That way I'm guaranteed to see it. I'll try to get to as many as I can. William Cunningham says, do you guys think JP comes back and it makes a difference? What do you guys think? I thought Bryce did very well also. God bless you guys. I appreciate that, William. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thought Bryce could have, I mean, I don't think he could have, but needed to go deeper in the game. Pitch count got too high. JP might come back, but no, I don't think at this point it makes a difference.
No.
Anything you want to add to that? Yeah.
No, I don't. No, JP's not going to do it. He was already having a struggling season, and I think going forward, JP's really got to look himself in the mirror, and he realizes that in that mirror, he has at least 2 shortstop prospects literally right on his tail. He's got Cole Young on his tail, Cole Emerson's on his way, and it would be 3 if Felny and Celestine did not suffer another season-ending injury.
Yeah, brutal. Kevin Kirby, thank you, Kevin. I know you've been a channel member. Appreciate you, my friend. He says, do you think they'll be within 3 games by the time we play Houston again?
No.
I will say, probably maybe not. This is probably the one, like, if you're looking for any silver lining little thing to be optimistic about, the only, and I'm not predicting this, but if you can get to that Houston series 2 or 3 back, you will, and you're going to need to win that series. You'll have the tiebreaker over Houston. That is your one, and I'm talking glimmer. And when I say that, I'm going like that much of hope. That is probably the one thing that maybe by the grace of the man upstairs, by the grace of the baseball gods, whoever it is. What's your thoughts, Roof?
I mean, I just don't see it happening with just the way it's happening. And not only am I watching the game, I'm also looking at their body language, and they just look lost. Like, it's just tough to see. And Mariners could have the easiest schedule. Like, they could have Chicago and all those kind of teams for the remainder of the season. And I don't think it's going to matter, because it seems that, maybe this sounds too emotional, it just feels like they play down to the competition. I think today explains it well. They were able to at least handle Shohei Ohtani in the Big 4, but when it came to the scrubs, nothing. And then the Tigers series, the Pirates series, they're giving up home runs to a bunch of scrubs. And I know I shouldn't say scrubs, but they gave up home runs to players that would not even be on any other teams. Maybe in their
PC
farm
version,
system.
yeah. The PC version of players they shouldn't be giving up home runs to, essentially. Mostly Ice Sports Talk asks, if Seattle doesn't make the playoffs, who is the AL champs? I mean, I know Mariners fans will want to hear this. I'll never sleep on Houston making a run. They're just kind of that team. But I do like Baltimore. I think a little bit better pitching this year. That could be their year. Sleeper team for me would be like Minnesota. I think Minnesota could be a sleeper team. What's your take, Roof?
I'm still going to say the Astros, because considering how they made that comeback, which, by the way, deserves a lot of credit, and I know much of the credit should belong to the Mariners just completely imploding. They got Justin Verlander coming back. They don't have Kyle Tucker, but I still think that they can make something interesting. And plus, the competition isn't that fantastic, which is why it's frustrating to watch the Mariners play like this, because this really does seem like an open competition. Like it seems like a lot of parity has happened in this season where there is no clear cut of who the best baseball team was. Like last year, it was Baltimore, clearly. And now this season, it's like, is it the Yankees? I don't know. Is it Cleveland? Is it Baltimore? Like, you just don't know. And that's why this could have been, I'm not saying I don't like to say this is our year, but this was a fantastic opportunity, as much as it was last year, for the Mariners to make a run. And even on paper, this season has been a great opportunity for the Mariners to at least even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah, this is crazy. No team on pace to win 100 games this year. That's crazy. It has been, and even more to Rooftop's point, a chance for the Mariners to get in there. Julio's injury, it definitely hurt. Listen, the Mariners, but at the same time, Houston's without Kyle Tucker, without Verlander, so I can't really
Can't
it's
make that
definitely hurt the
excuse.
Mariners. Yeah, it's definitely hurt them. There's no doubt about that. But
My
it's funny, I'll
take
just
on
go ahead.
my take on the whole Julio thing, and I can explain how it exactly happened. So I remember Brian Wu was pitching. I think he was struggling just a little bit, but he was working through it. And I feel bad. Now you're making me feel bad for saying Scott Service like I'm kicking a dead horse, but
No.
he
I just
pulls out.
yeah.
He pulls Brian Wu against Yordan Alvarez for the lefty Taylor Saucedo, who's not having a good season because lefty-lefty matchups, but he doesn't pay attention to the fact that Yordan kills lefties arguably more than righties. Yordan Alvarez hits a nice fly ball to left center field where Julio actually kind of had to sacrifice his body because Yordan Alvarez feasts on lefties. And because Julio almost made the catch that it almost was, he got injured. And I do believe it delusionally that if Scott Service at least put in a righty or let Brian Wu work through it, I don't think Alvarez would have hit a ball like that because that's how he hits against lefties. I know that's reading way too much into it, but I'm saying that was it's like one of those small mistakes that leads to big colossal things. Like we saw it. Robbie Ray versus Yordan Alvarez. Huge mistake right there. And now, and even if Julio didn't get hurt, I think the meltdown does still happen, but the Mariners would maybe be like 2 to 3 games back. And the crazy thing is with Julio right now, 75% limping Julio Rodriguez is still one of our best offensive players right now, if not the best, which is crazy.
Yeah, then Polanco probably too. It's just been super frustrating. Robert, thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. Josh, again, appreciate the support. Thank you very much for throwing that out there, man. Yeah, if you guys are new to the stream, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Head over to Rooftops, hit subscribe as well. Last thing I'll say, then I'm gonna probably call it a stream. I'm losing my voice. I gotta be up in like 5 hours. Someone made the point on Twitter. I've said it countless times too. The Seahawks, I'm not trying to always bring it back to football. Seahawks made the choice to move on from Pete Carroll after 14 years. 2-time NFC champion, Super Bowl champion. I can't even talk about how many divisions they won, 5, 6 minimum, on top of 11 playoff appearances in those 14 years. And we deemed it was time to move on. I think most people probably agree that it was. And I'm a pretty big Pete guy, and I even think it was time.
It was
Jerry,
time.
Justin, Scott, 9 years, 1 playoff appearance. I mean, I don't think they've been awful. I think there's been some good things these guys have done for this organization, but it's just, how can I sit here and say it was time for Pete Carroll to go and then sit here and go, yeah, another year for these guys? It's not fair. I'm not being fair if I'm doing that. I'm losing my words, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Seahawks do. They have high standards. The ownership, even without Paul Allen, even with his sister Jody Allen, still sets a very high standard where, yeah, Pete Carroll was pretty much done. And I thought they were going to get rid of him for the 2022 season after they got rid of Russell Wilson. I thought that was going to be it for Pete Carroll, but it wasn't. And as much as Pete Carroll did well for the Seahawks, yes, I do think they could have gotten another Super Bowl or 2 due to one decision that was made.
There was some meat left on the bone.
There was meat left on the bone, but you saw it in 23 where it was pretty much over. And the Seahawks were willing to pull the plug on it. It was probably a very difficult decision, but it was necessary. Like if let's say Scott Service and Jerry DiPoto were football guys and they were on the Seahawks with that ownership, they would have been gone after 1 or 2 seasons.
Ownership matters. You look at the Seahawks, good ownership group with Paul Allen, and everything. And then here with John Stanton, it's just frustrating, and it's unfortunately today just not. Well, I hope you had a good time. Definitely a pathetic game. I do hope you had a good time being at the ballpark. There is.
I hope you used that promo code of JS Trident.
Oh,
or
I forgot to put in the thing here. But listen, there's still nothing better than today at the ballpark. My advice to everybody would be look for the positives, not telling you guys to don't be negative. That's not what I'm saying. be negative. This team deserves the negativity.
They deserve everything they get.
Down, grab yourself a brewski if you drink, or a water or a Gatorade, whatever you drink. Sit down, cup of tea maybe, watch the games. Try to enjoy it for the fact that it's baseball. It's a beautiful sport. Despite all the frustrations, I always try to take the mentality that my kids have. They'll sit down, just watch the game. They don't get frustrated. Mariners will lose and go, oh, that stinks. Maybe they'll win tomorrow. Like, I kind of miss that youthful energy that they have about it. They're not losing any sleep over it, and they cannot wait to go up to T-Mobile and go to a game. I'm not saying to live in La La Land with the team, but that's kind of how I'm going to take the approach from the rest of the year with the post games. It's just going to be very, you know what? I hope this guy does good. This is good. If they get some wins, great. If they don't, then whatever. Rooftop, closing thoughts.
My advice, since you've already given the advice of to drink and a beer within reason, of course.
Yes.
My advice is this. A lot of people say that they don't want to give John Stanton their money, which I 100% agree. I mean, that's kind of why I haven't gone to a Mariners game, because one, I'd rather just do it from my home and just cover the game and do a service for everyone. And the one game I went to, I got it for free. I got it through a friend's work. So that was really cool. But I'm going to say this. If you don't want to give the Mariners any kind of attention, any kind of money, or any kind of views, and if some of you have already canceled your Root Sports subscription away from your Xfinity or your AT&T or DirecTV, I'm sorry, go to us. Go to J Trident Podcast. Go to me, where I'm covering the games, so that you don't have to watch the game, but you get to watch me suffer through it and get all my reactions. And by the way, it is 100% free. Yes, I want donations. Yes, J Trident Podcast wants one too. But that's not the point. The point is to provide a service and an entertainment, and that's what I do. I am the alternative voice of the Seattle Mariners, and I want to do it more consistently. I want Trident to be more consistent too, as if he already does. But he would like to do more of these kind of things, like live shows. If you want that to happen, to become a reality, subscribe to us, hit the like buttons, subscribe. So the best thing you can do to, I guess, help yourselves as a Mariners fan experience, follow our channels and just watch us suffer, so that you guys don't have to suffer watching like Leo Rivas getting thrown at home, Jason Hayward hitting a freaking home run. At least you can just watch us have a meltdown and just go and just laugh about it. That's the point of it. Just like Minnesota Vikings voice, Paul Allen. There's another Paul Allen, by the way. The way he expresses himself very well resonates with the fans. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do exactly things like he does, is expressing his passion. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm here for. So follow us. Follow the others. Couch GM, Raise the Trident, Mariners Mojo, my friend Steve Silver. Am I missing anyone else other than you, me, and everyone else?
Locked On Mariners.
Locked On Mariners.
Tons of great Mariners content creators out there. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you guys for the likes, the comments, the subscribe. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Casey. Really appreciate all that support. Thank you, Rooftop, for joining me. Appreciate it. I know sometimes we're all over the place in these live streams, but that's what they're for. They're kind of just the quick, raw emotion. Mile Y, that's another one that's good. He does the post-game recaps. I listen to those. He does a good job. So honestly, any Mariner content creator. What's there? Pint Size Analysis is another new one. He's coming up. East Coast M's is out there. So give all those guys a sub and a like. Just really, really good people that are, like Rooftop said, bringing free content. So Rooftop, thank you again for joining me today. Really, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for having me on your stream as well. Head over to his channel, hit subscribe. It'll be in the description down below. Josh, appreciate you pushing for those likes, my man. Your duty is done. You are free to go. Love you all. Truly do. Truly, truly do. I mean that. We'll get through this all together, and then we'll get into the offseason. My headphones are dying, so that means it's time to go. Take care, everybody. And as always, Rooftop, you want to finish this off here with the Go M's?
Painfully saying, Go Mariners.
Peace.
Peace.